What's up, y'all? How you doing this evening? I hope you are well. We're going to be staying on the development train. And as you can see, I've been messing around a little bit between the streams. Dabbling a bit. The tilting box is not intended final functionality. Basically, I disabled something that I didn't. I removed the camera zoom, and this is what happens when there's no camera zoom. So, for any of you who are interested in following along or playing with this yourself, here is the repository, and I'll be making commits and stuff as I make changes and so forth. It is up to date at the moment. Basically, I don't really love the way that the camera tilt currently works. It was originally like this. So I'm tilting the whole scene camera. Okay. It should be working on the bottom one. Well, it probably just needs tweaked, but the intention is just to add a little bit more intensity to the turning, like that, which is more subtle, and I think it adds a lot. But I don't like the approach of zooming the camera in because I feel like it degrades the appearance. It makes it weird trying to make graphics when it's like you're making them at 1920 by 1080 or based on 1920 by 1080, and then the camera is zoomed in a little, which creates this disparity. A significant portion of the code was adapted from a non-phaser project, yes. This project. On code incomplete. And yeah. Well, I mean, basically it's easy to say Corvus, but not clear how to do. There's a couple of problems. What is it? Tile sheet? No. Ah, right. tile sprite. The documentation is all right. That's look at the GitHub. Let's see right here. There's some things in the documentation that are inconsistent, and I feel like it could use some examples. But one nice thing is that there's another called Rex Notes by somebody who has done like basically like a giant plugin suite, but they have their own version of the same documentation for Phaser. But it has a different approach to explanations, and it has examples and such. So this one's pretty good. And please don't do any sort of memeing in the repository or in the issues or anything like that. I'm not sure. You can probably create issues and stuff, and I'm for that. But if you do any meme stuff, I'll just delete it, and that'll kind of be the end of that. And that's just, let's not. Let's skip that part. I have some clues. One thing about the original JavaScript project is that I brought over the utils basically whole cloth and didn't touch them. I don't like the way it's written, but a number of these things I feel are either replaced by Phaser or don't really need to exist at all. Some of them are just like shortcuts, like timestamp. It's still using the like JavaScript built in. Same for 2int and 2float. The way this is written is actually, I just find like kind of confusing. But so this is like just lifted from that other project just to skip having to deal with this stuff. At least until later. This can actually just go. This is the original game scene. But I have moved on to the next one and I've made significant changes. So this is actually defunct. Yeah. I might go to an NPM project eventually. Or a node project. Because one of the things I think I'd like to do is also use this as an opportunity to get more comfortable with TypeScript. So I'd like to be able to compile my JavaScript. It's also nice because I can then minify and create a distribution version of it. Whoops. Whoops. So a few things I did in between stream, apart from messing about with the camera, is I've turned on pixel art rendering. So it's going to look a little bit more, well, pixely. I don't know if that's going to be what I want in the end or not. I think it's going to be probably not, but I want to then have more careful sizing of things on the screen so that they look crisp. And I implemented the fog rendering, which this was again pretty much lifted from the original project, but some of the vestigial stuff was already in, like the fog setting and color, and then basically I added it to the segment, so every segment gets a fog, which is calculated, and it's based off of draw distance and such. And then down here we render the fog, and it's just drawing a rectangle with the fog color and then an alpha value, which again is based off of the draw distance. And there's the actual drawing of the rectangle. That's how that works. And I did what C said, and I put the sky color on the fog, and I don't know that the effect really made it better. It just sort of looks weird off in the distance. It makes everything look a little odd. Yeah, it really jumps between level and uphill. You're absolutely right. Thank you, Zuria. For the car sprites, I want to actually make 3D models in Blender is my game plan. No, you're good. This whole thing is about working on it with you guys, so don't hold back from bringing stuff up. I'm happy to answer any questions and accept any criticisms. And if you have ideas, or if you want to log issues, you can do so right on the GitHub, and that's totally fine. And we will figure it out. I set up a couple of milestones, nothing big, but just like start to try to get things organized a bit. But yeah, so I want to make car models in Blender, but use that to render out sprites. See, one thing that feels like a problem with the pixel art rendering mode is these trees, the more distant ones, they look flickery. It kind of looks a mess off in the distance. I turned off the inertia, yeah, the centrifugal force. And the reason was I remembered why I didn't like it or what my problem was with it before. And what it was is the way that I wrote the code where it's trying to get back on the center. It wasn't just that it looks unnatural when it's going back into the center, which probably just needs a sort of like easing or something like that. It's actually, I wrote it stupidly, and it doesn't know when to quit trying to get to the center sometimes. So the actual like position is a float, the X position, and it would get into the situation where it would be in the zone, but it'd be like on the edge of it. So it would be constantly it would start to like oscillate on that, because it would go back and forth over the line essentially. And that caused there to be this really ugly, because like the whole view moves with the player, right? So then you could see it on the lanes. It was like they were like shaking or wobbling. It just looked really awful. So I've turned it off for now. It's something I want to re-implement properly in the future. I tried to do that. I didn't try hard enough to do that because I failed. But exactly right, Seismic. Yeah, that's what needs to happen. There's about a million things that need to happen with this, but my end goal or my end game with this is I would like to get close in quality to something like Slipstream. That would make me very happy if I can get in that ballpark. But it's really going to take like everything I got to get there. Like one of the things that I'm realizing is a tall order is I'm not really a pixel artist, but I really want a similar pixel art-ish look. And per page, the road isn't randomly generated, but the trees are randomly placed. So the trees would be different on either one of these. Yeah. So the trouble is you have to be very picky about ints versus floats for some of this stuff. For instance, that won't work unless I really rework some things in a big way. How do I even explain this? So like the horizontal movement, that only goes between -2 and 2. so if I force it to be int, we're talking middle, farthest right, and farthest left, essentially, or maybe 5 positions. Yeah, -2, -1, 0, 1, and 2. So like I'd have to completely rework that. I don't think that's going to be necessary. There just has to be a consistency, and I have to figure out if stuff like that is truly necessary or not. It's not something you can flippantly choose, you know what I mean? I can say that they are different pages, so they're not loading at the same time. They are running at the same speed now, thankfully, but they're not loading at the same time, so they are 100% the same track path. They're just not in sync. Is that what's confusing? Inclusively. Yeah. I think. It just depends on when they load. Like if I save, you should see. Okay, they loaded at the same time there. They should be running at the same speed. And we should see the same course. But the trees are obviously definitely different. I can actually show you. There was a test I did before. I think I mentioned this where I did some on the fly road resetting because I wanted to try switching color schemes on the fly as a test. And I forgot that the trees were randomly placed. So it was a spectacle to behold, to say the least. There may be some, I know, I'm just explaining how it works. There may be some like speed inconsistency. The gaming PC is faster than the stream PC, but they should both be based off of literal time, and therefore it shouldn't be a problem. But Sage raised this point to me in here. that it may not be necessary to have any of that code at all, because there's a FPS config which is not explained well here. That's where I just went, isn't it? So you force set timeout and your target FPS. And the way you do that is, I think this is the thread. Yeah. No formatting at all here. Lovely. But basically I just add this to my game config. Doodly do. 60. I think you need force set timeout true, don't you? Yeah. And that's not, should not look like anything changed. What are you talking about, Sage? I think that that's all you need, and then in update here I can just, oh well, still the problem is we didn't end up needing this. This is not necessary. Got a lot of crap in here. It's not necessary. It actually, I wasn't even using that anymore, but we are passing the delta into player update. So yeah, I don't even think that this is, the config is even necessary. I think we were already good. I also feel like it degrades the appearance of the game with that activated. I mean, to be fair, Sage, there's a lot of crap in there right now. It's a little bit hard to sort it all out. I know a little bit better like what the heck is happening because I threw this garbage together, but I can just pretty much tear all this out. None of this is necessary here. We don't need that either. So now the update is very simple, and we don't need to make a variable for this. We can just do that. There. It's clean. Don't need this comment. But it's not though. So, well, what is happening is I really need to get all this road stuff out of here. In player update, we're passing in the delta time. And the delta time is what's determining some stuff here, but it's not at the very top. Do you mean like just like because these variables exist? Where are we using this? Okay, well, we're not using this FPS anywhere except for right here. So we must be using this dot step. We use it for determining the max speed. And that's it. So the step is 60, 1 divided by 60. So that's just 16.6. And then we ditch that. Whoops, I did it wrong. Was it? Oh, no, it's, I'm stupid. Yeah. Times 60? That doesn't seem right to me. I don't think that's right. Is it? That is right. You right. My bad. I guess that's the inverse. So there you go. Ta-da! So we're not doing any frame rate locking in here. Most of this is not phaser. This is phaser. This is just normal class stuff, but I mean, there's config stuff expected by phaser for a scene, and then all of this is just custom like variable stuff that we're attaching to the class. So yeah, there is no FPS locking stuff in here anymore. I started working on that actually. I figured out how to get away from my problem. Do you see that top left there? Remember how the debug stuff used to tilt with the camera? I realized that I could just load another scene. So I'm loading and stopping another scene that is called the debug HUD. And inside of that, I can put a bunch of debug information, controls, and stuff like that, and then show and hide it on the fly. So I will have a debug menu. Just need to actually put anything in it other than debug. And that is its own separate scene thing over here. This is all it is right now. I am debug. That's going to come in handy for other stuff too. Like, I want to add like a fun, you know, racing heads-up display thing. So I can put that in another scene and just sit that right on top, and that'll be good. So I'm pleased with that. I do really want to figure out this camera thing. I have to pick a fucking target. I have to pick an objective because I could get into some serious choice paralysis with this. Oh yeah. Let me I want to show you this because it's interesting. Keys am I loading? So let's just do all this down here. Don't need that. Let's add another key. Yes. E. So keys E on up. God, I constantly fat finger when I'm trying to do this stuff on stream. Nope, not what I want. There we go. This should be fun. It looks like nothing's happening, but in fact, it is recreating the entire road. And the trees move because they're randomly placed. So technically, lots of stuff is happening. But you can only tell that anything is happening because the trees jump around. When I was originally trying to get sprites to work, I had a terrible moment where I inadvertently put this function. I put it in my update loop with my randomized trees. And I'm kind of glad that I did it with the randomized trees because otherwise I wouldn't have had any idea this was happening. And it was just like this crazy blur because they were just, but like way faster than I can touch a keyboard. And yeah, it was horrific. But if it hadn't been doing that, it probably would have looked kind of normal. And I would have probably or possibly not realized that there was a problem at all for a long time. Yeah, I can show you. I can show you very easily. Here. Let's really screw everything up. There you go. Chaos tree. I was super stumped the first time I saw this. I was like, what? Why are they freaking out? What am I doing wrong with the drawing? And yeah, it's just drawing them over and over and over in a bad way. This has become chaotic very quickly. So let's not do that. It's a bad thing. Why don't we, you know? Let's see. And we have this working fog now. If you can call it that. Not sure how I feel about it. I mean, the fact that it works is nice. But I'm having trouble imagining this particular effect. I guess if it was applied to the sprites as well, that might look better. Splitting it into parts. Extricate the camera from the other code. I mean, it's not really very integrated. The way the cameras work in Phaser is by default you have one that's just called main. That's your main camera. And it's what's responsible for us seeing anything right now. I can make other cameras. I can also tell cameras to ignore certain game objects. So it will not draw anything that you tell it to ignore. But in terms of phaser cameras, they're not really otherwise integrated into the code. If you're talking about the theoretical camera that the projection is based off of, I can't really extricate that. Okay, so you're talking about that. Sorry, I have no idea how to do that. The whole thing is predicated on that. If we look here, let me see. Where are we at? Oh, we're on the final article. So this is how this whole thing works. So basically what you're asking me to do is essentially delete the repo and stop working on this, because the whole thing is based on this. I don't know how to not... I mean, it's beyond a chunky problem. You're basically saying don't make a pseudo 3D racer. Hi.
Yeah, look how tiny Gigi is.
He does fit in that pocket.
She thinks he's a kitten. But this is where the kittens came from.
It was. He remembers. He remember. Tapping that box with his tail. Gigi getting all the sniffs.
And licks. He wants to stay in it though. It's hungry.
Yeah, so I don't know how to do that. Or what good it would do to do that. So the camera is basically, and also the entire view that we're seeing is essentially predicated on like these settings and the world coordinates from like making the road. And
Like he doesn't want to be in a pocket.
Projecting right here. Yeah, well, I mean, he's a cat. They don't want to do anything that they don't want to do.
I need gummy worms.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna go get some. Do you want anything?
I don't know. My go-to would have been hot chocolate, but we have better hot chocolate here.
No?
I don't know. I feel like I'm losing my opportunity if I don't ask for something.
I mean, it's always there.
If you don't feel like making hot chocolate, I'll take a hot chocolate. I'm not sure I really even... I mean, I don't know if there's something phasery to really do this, because this isn't really... I don't know. Let me take a look here real quick. If it were going to have anything, I feel like it would have it in wait, what is this? Oh, it took me to like time math. Here we go. Oh, so this I can't look at because if it's author Rex, it's not something that's included in Phaser. I would have to have the Rex thing, and I don't really want that. Not what I want. Yeah. I hate the search system in this. Like, which one do you click on? Here we go. I think the thing is that I would need to understand what the fuck it is we're doing exactly a bit better. Like, this is a lot of little transforms. And I don't know if this translates into an algorithm that would make more sense. No, the car sheet and the shadow sheet are not the same size because I did it poorly. Is part of the issue there. I just like did it badly. I don't know if a quaternion is what we want. This is definitely outside of my realm of knowledge. I do like though that it has lerp and slurp. I wanted to fix my sprite rendering stuff. Chew, she's gonna come right back. Calm down, bud. Chew. So right now it can only render trees, only of this size. Yeah, and this is hard coded right here. I have a to do that says tree should not be hard coded here. And I have a note that says this doesn't work because we're re-adding the sprite each time, not moving it. Could be improved. And that was me. I wanted to do like a quick little fade in enhancement, but then I realized, oh yeah, that's not going to make any sense. Lerp and slurp. So all of these need to be replaced with the actual dimensions of the sprite. And if we follow this all the way back, oh, here's another. I really want to make a sprite atlas or tile atlas or whatever. Oh God, I think it's texture atlas actually. Nope. God damn it, Phaser. It's easier to Google for stuff sometimes. Yeah, it's called a fucking texture atlas. Why wasn't that coming up in the docs? Oh, wait, this is phaser 2. Still called texture atlas. Atlas. It truly is. Factory, I don't know about that exactly. When was this? Oh, this was 2021. I don't think you need to do this. I don't know why they did that. It's weird. Oh, is this an example of things not working? Right. Okay. I was like, this doesn't look right. This isn't what I wanted. Right. Shoebox. Ooh. Wow, that really does some stuff. Oh, even bitmap fonts. How about that? What? Holy shit. Oh, even pivots as well. Hot damn. What? Huh. Man, this is fancy as fuck. Excuse me? Jesus. Okay, this is the weirdest thing. Flickr upload. Why? Why? That's a really weird feature. Flickr still exists? Hey, I cleaned up my tabs for you guys. To oh no. .air? Oh no. Oh no, why? Ah man, I don't think I have air installed. Yeah, yeah. Oh fuck. Weird choice. Oh no, that doesn't seem like a good first thing to find. They're gonna kill it like Flash. Oh, they sold it off. Oh god. Okay. It's a Sam. Okay. Wow, we're really going down the rabbit hole here. Uh-huh. Uh-huh, yeah. How do you fucking install this piece of shit, man? Damn it. That application looks so good, but this is a train wreck. What do I even do? Can I install this? Yeah, I'm inclined to give up. I think I'm gonna give up. I can't even figure out how to install whatever Air even is now. So I give up. It's too bad. This looked really cool. I need an alternative. Yeah, the thing is, food. You gotta follow those links through, buddy. I was gonna say I just read a blog post saying they weren't gonna support it anymore, so I deeply doubt they have any downloads. Uh Texture Atlas editor. Edit texture atlas. Oh no, is this gonna be all right? Well, that's not a good sign right out of the gate. Oh boy. Oh no. Okay. Phaser editor 2D. That sounds good. It's even for phaser. Huh. Yeah, it's not good. Oh boy. Their old docs are up, but the rest of the site doesn't work. 404 error. Hold on a sec. I'll be right back. I'm not gonna do the error thing, so you can let that go. Oh. So only version 1 seems to actually be up. Blog downloads, huh? I want to see. So the docs, the docs for version 3 don't work, but the downloads are here. Okay, that doesn't 2022 doesn't mean anything. Okay. Well, it seems like it's still a thing. I don't know. Pricing? Uh-oh. Oh. Okay, I'll be fine there. You. All right. What's the difference here? This wasn't supposed to be so complicated. This doesn't compare all in one versus not all in one. I simply, I guess I'll go for the all in one. Who knew this was going to be such a dang old nightmare? All right, hold on a second. Oh, I see. Yeah. Game development tools. I don't really need a code editor. Online project templates, offline project templates, and marketplace integration. Portable. Ready for the cloud, ready for the desktop, ready for the browser of your choice. Electron JS based. Okay, I don't know. This is like, I feel like it might as well be one or the other, but screw it, I guess. It'd be fun trying to figure this out without the docs. Oh, I'm a simpleton. I didn't even realize. I thought this was just like a texture atlas maker. I was like, why is this so complicated? No, it's a whole game maker. I don't fucking damn it. How did I miss that? Yeah, I don't wanna make a whole game. Okay. Back to the drawing board. It's literally called texture packing. Well, actually, that's probably like a subsection of that editor. Here's one. Will this work though?
You put a cat in a pocket one time.
Yep. Now he's all about exploring that pocket.
Almost destroyed himself like 4 times just on the walk over here.
He is amped. He really thinks there's gonna be kittens in there. No, even if you show him that there aren't any, he thinks there's gonna be.
Like,
if he keeps checking.
I mean, we've thrown a treat right in front of his face, and he's convinced that we have it buried under the blanket. So, like...
It's true, yeah. He knows best.
Yes, now I have to go find a kitten.
Maybe. I guess we'll never know. All right, please God, let me pack my textures. Who knew this would be so hard? Maybe I should have just looked up the JSON format and see if I could just write it myself and call it a damn day. It's probably a nightmare, though. Okay. Please don't be shit. Please don't be shit. This shit looks like knockoff. What's that fucking Nickelodeon show? Fairly Odd Parents. But if it was like horribly awful parents. Oh no. Oh God, what does this mean? So far, this doesn't matter. Man, I don't even know if I need any of this stuff. Hopefully not. Well, people got to make money. Just like that, huh? Well, that seems pretty nice. I guess I need some sprites to test. What do I have already? I did not put that sprite sheet in here. It is. I put the fog in and I changed the color of it like you said, see. Where is that? I'm gonna steal it. Here it is. Okay, can my folder not be this big? Are you serious? Okay. uh this isn't gonna work because we're not doing a sheet. Like I could do this. But yeah, this is for sheets which are all even. So this is not what I want. Win Shift S for what? That's not what I want. It's literally called Texture Packer, and I can only see how to do a sheet. Hello? Cancel. Hello? Why are you doing this? What the heck? I must be stupid. Well, these are like packed. I mean, it didn't show them. I guess it treats it as a single image, huh? Maybe if I split it up, I do a bunch of separate ones. Why? Hidden features. Oh, I see. Oh no. Well, I don't care about this, I don't think. Maybe. No, I don't. Really? This is going great. Golly, I did not download the right fucking image. This looks like shit. You know what? Actually, all right, get rid of that. Did I not? Did I not? Yes, I didn't. If you're gonna steal, steal correct. Wait, are these all already split out? I thought he used a sprite sheet. He did. I'm so lost. Why has this happened? Why does he have both? I don't remember. And I don't care. Just gonna get this. To be honest, actually, now that I think about it, this doesn't seem to be able to, or doesn't let you. Gosh damn it. All right, hold on. It's going to be easier if I just do this. I don't need to do anything there. There. And then uh uh what have you done? Why do they all have like this alpha? Oh, okay. Okay, okay. Beautiful. All right, so that's much better. So you want to have them all split out, and then it'll do this. Okay. Great. I'm going to assume that's already fine. Okay, good. All right, cool. It's already going to do the right thing. What's multi-pack, huh? What's multi-pack? No, no. Settings panel. This did not help me. I don't know why I looked at that or clicked on it. I just wanted to know. Well, there it is. Please, God. Okay. Oh, 2 or more sprite sheets. Okay. I'm not looking to do that. So, publish? Excuse? You were supposed to make that, right? Am I stupid? Again? Choose the file name. Why is this happening now, huh? It's an output file, yes? Wait. Oh, I think it's because I already had one in there with that same name. No, I didn't. I have sprite testing here. Where's Atlas test? It said it successfully made it. Y'all. Okay. So at least we saved our project, but like, how do I... Why does it want to open a file? If I have to make it by hand for this to work, I don't understand what the purpose of the application is. You are a son of a bitch. Am I doing something obviously stupid here, or is this just... This is just me. Oh no. This is clearly the best. What if I didn't do that? Maybe that was my problem. It doesn't say to do that. Okay. Please magically work. Why are you such shit? Texture packer. Failed to open file. Oh, this is all licensing. Cool. The vast majority of the FAQ is about licensing. Oh, man. I'm so annoyed. Why does it want to open a file? It's output settings. And of course, there's nothing on the whole of the internet for this. I think I'm too stupid to exist. Laser. Uh-huh. Oh, yeah. Fairly awful parents. Yeah, stop advertising to me. Just tell me. This isn't even the version of... Oh my god. Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. Sure. Great. Enter a data file. Okay, maybe it's because I put something in both of the fields. No, I already tried this. I just tried it, didn't I? Did I just try it? I don't know. Yeah, it doesn't fucking work. Why does it want to open a fucking file? Dude, I am... Oh, wait. You're right. I'm stupid. Yay! Good catch. Well, how do I remove this? There we go. Okay. Whew. I didn't look closely at it, and I made the name too close together. I saw my eyes saw Sprite Test, but I thought Atlas Test, and I was just like, why? Thank you. You've saved me from a hell of my own making. Holy Lord. Okay. Hooray. Okay, all right. Beautiful. Let's take a look at that real quick. Find out what these look like. Well, you saved the day just now. Jesus Christ, dude. All that to do this. I suppose it can do a lot more, but like for what I wanted. And the time it took me to figure this out, I maybe could have just written this up myself. Now here's the thing. It's using the file names from that folder. But we created this. Right? So how does that work? They got their metadata in there. I could probably just delete that. It's probably only used for like loading it into their back into their thing. Oh, okay. So right off the top. I wonder why it has file names. Those probably don't really matter, right? Well, fuck it. We have a thing now. Good God, we have a thing. Uh let's see if we can make any use of it at all. Texture Atlas, load Atlas. That's what I want. Okay, cool. So let's slap this in here down at the bottom. Texture. Okay, right. The Atlas is the JSON. I'm just going to call it Atlas. No, that's bad. I'll call it sprites. That'll do. So the file names will become the keys, essentially, that I can reference individuals. Mega set. And what are we doing? Draw frame index. Oh, this is render texture. Frames get frame names. Is there a simpler example? Tile sprite. Atlas. Oh. I guess if I wanted to pack my backgrounds together, this would be handy. Oh yeah, look at that. Okay, so this is like I see. So it's just iterating over them and then right. Okay. And that's where it's calling the key. So we can use the key just like any other image. Like if I want to do load image, I assume. You have to do key and then frame. Yeah, yeah, exactly. So this is the key because it's called Atlas. Apparently that was fine to do. I didn't need to call it something else. And then the frame, which is these, acts like a key. So if we were loading like an image into a tile sprite normally, we would just stop here. Okay, yeah. Okay, that's not bad. It shouldn't be sprites either. Yeah, I mean, who knows? What if I have more than one Atlas? It's all right. Just make sure doing this didn't bust up anything. It's fine. Um, Forest props, yeah. I'm still kind of in prototype mode, so I'm definitely not doing things as nicely as I ought to or could do or want to. Okay, so we have Atlas. Where are we doing our sprite stuff? Did I rip it out of here yet? And where's this happening? Reset sprites. Okay. So this is where this is happening. Okay, so now we're back to where things get complicated again. This is currently how all of our trees are added. I need to know how to get the frame size. Sorry, I'm like thinking, I'm trying to refresh my memory on what all we're doing here. Rendering them. So I really need actual size here, not that. It should be a reference. It should not be created at this point. However, what is this doing? Sprite dot offset. If I make this sprite dot source, should really call that like key. That's fine. I don't want to go back and change all that for something that I'm going to be ripping up anyway. Let's see what that does. Okay. So, what if, just as a test, this is not the intended implementation. I'm going to do that, and that's going to break everything. Oh, wait a minute. It didn't break everything. It's loading the whole image, but at the wrong size. So we're just seeing the upper left corner. Incredible. Okay. Interesting. Absolutely not what I expected at all. Now, I'm just testing this out to like get somewhere here, just to test out the atlas. So what if I did, let's open that back up so I can reference it. So if I did this, then what happens? Oh, well, it won't be the right size either way. We know that much. Actually, I probably wouldn't have changed anything. It's the very first one, probably already what we're already seeing here. Let's try this instead. This should be frame, I think. Yep. 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 I'm going to make a quick little tweakeroonie. This should be fine. Hopefully. We'll see. Obviously, it's not going to be immediately fine. Huh, so it like falls back to just showing the atlas if we can't find a frame. It's wild. Get frame names? Oh yeah, so I could just get the whole array, right? And then like randomly choose one. I'll look it up real quick myself as well. Actually, that might be a good one to look up here. Get frame names. That doesn't come up. Get frame comes up. Let me try looking in the actual API. Get frame names. Texture. Get frame names. Include base. Oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. So you want to randomly assign a frame to a game object. But I need a game object. Oh, I know what to do though. I think I know what to do. Should I need to like create the image basically like I'm doing here. But earlier. It was in the example I noped out of. Oh. Right. This one, the crazy one. Right. Yeah. Oh. I could do it like this. Okay. But I still would want to do that. Because what I was thinking was like, I'll have to load the image and I guess hide it off screen so I have a game object reference, but I can just do this. Okay. I'm just gonna steal those. Let's throw that in our game scene here. I can reference back to it. Actually, I don't need to do that. Dumb. Unless I want to reference it elsewhere, I don't need to do that. So I could actually just add it to here. This dot atlas texture. This dot textures dot gets atlas. This dot frame names. I mean, like I could just go ahead and like get this now, right? Right? Maybe. I don't know. Why not? Cannot read properties of undefined reading get. This dot textures dot get. Why ain't work? Oh, this isn't a scene. This dot scene. That would be why. Whoops. Hello? I broke Chrome. Okay. Awesome. Just a quick test here. Oh yeah, it doesn't like that. I can just do it right here in the constructor. Okay. What could I say? Hey, hey. Oh, you can't see it. Right here. Whoop. There they are. So that works a treat. Get rid of that. Okay, so now we have the frame names. And then I hate the way this is written because I have so much trouble understanding by looking at it. I have to look at it in use. Okay, great. We were using it right here anyway. Okay, render sprites. So we can do let frame equal this dot frame names. This dot frame names dot length -1 and 0. Random frame. Uh-oh. Ah, right. This is happening every render. This is the thing I wanted to change. Okay, I can quickly change this. Let's get that out of there. What was it? I know what to do here. Hold on. Palm tree. Great. Back to sanity. It did look like a bunch of Coke bottles. Okay. Um, sprites. Okay. So this is where we really want to do that. So add sprite, frame, sprite, frame. Okay. And I can just do this in here for now. I just want to test this. I just want to see it work. God damn it. So we won't pass it in here. It's gonna happen in here. And then I gotta whoop. Thought I was being so smart. If I was carefully writing things, it was smart, but I'm not, so it's dumb. It's okay. It'll still, we can reference the key. Define reading get. Why? Why are you mad at me? This dot textures dot get atlas should work. Oh. Probably what I need to be doing. And then I'll do oh, for fuck's sake. That should work for now. It does. It does. What did I do? Oh, right. I have to update my render to use the new frame in the object. Oh, I blew past it, didn't I? Yeah, I did. Okay. Sprite.frame. Then we should just need to get the size. Yes. That's a lot of the same too. Oh, probably because of the size issue. Maybe. It's concerning that we're just seeing like the car and one of the trees. I probably did something else wrong, but that's okay. Um, yeah. What would be fastest? Sprite.texture.width. Thing is I'm not storing an actual reference in here. I'm still inserting an image at the end. I need to it gets a frame. So what I can do is I think I know what I can do. No, I didn't ask for that. This dot scene dot texture dot get sprite dot frame dot width. Maybe this will magically work, right? I'll be amazed if this works. It can't get it. Where you're using width above? What? Oh, also, I think I've realized I could do or need to do. Right, okay. I need to actually see the code because the way you're writing it to me, I don't understand. Right, texture frame, texture. So I still actually need this, which like this is so much later on down. Uh, What did I screw up here? Oh. Hey. Fucking hooray. Jeez. I was pulling teeth. Whew. Progress. Except it's just loading cars. One of the cars and one of the trees. Let's see what I'm doing wrong here. Frame player straight. Oh, that's probably what that file was called. Tree one. I don't know why I'm looking at this like this doesn't help me. It's only able to grab this frame name stop blanks. Am I still writing that list out anywhere? No, I got rid of that immediately. 24. Blah de blah. So it's doing tree one. Oh, it's doing the first and the last only. I did not examine that. I did not examine that random choice very well. That was not a random choice between. I needed to use random int. That'll do a min max between. Right. Stupid, stupid, stupid. Dumb, dumb, dumb. Stupid, stupid, stupid. Dumb, dumb, dumb. It was right here, too. It was right there. Random int. There. Now it will work. Yay. Looks like a fucking junkyard. Right. I mean, this is an important step in the right direction. Yes. Feels good. Let's turn that fucking fog down, though, because damn. Oh my gosh, yeah, it's set to 50. Let's calm that down. Let's calm that down a lot. Oh, now we take a moment to appreciate our handiwork. It's there. It's just like on the edge, like right at the horizon. Yeah, this looks exactly like Myrtle Beach. Oh, it feels good to have that fucking working. at least. Yeah. Well, random I don't think is what I really want. I still have this command in here. I don't think I want to use random. Maybe. Unfortunately, I haven't really solved the... I've solved part of the problem. I wanted to use an atlas. I wanted to test using an atlas. This is my first time. This is my first time. Well, so where I'm foreseeing a problem with random is if I want to update roads on the fly, I'm going to have to change... Like, I need to commit the random choices so that they don't get lost when I reset the road, is basically where I'm like foreseeing an issue in the future. But what's happening is every single one of these textures that you see right now are being redrawn every single frame that's drawn. So that still remains to be fixed. When I was in there trying to make the texture atlas work, and I kept complaining, well, this isn't how it's going to be anyway. That's why this is a problem, yada, yada. That's me. I was talking about how I need to rewrite this so that it's not creating the sprite every render, and instead just moves it to its new position until it goes off screen behind the car and then delete it. But right now they're all deleted and then created again every frame, which is bad. But this is one of those moments where you have to kind of kick back and be like, okay, I achieved something. I'm going to chill for a minute. Known seed. Yeah, that makes some sense. That makes some sense. I mean, I understand it conceptually. I don't understand it mathematically or programmatically. I'll just have to look it up. To be honest, I think using an atlas is probably going to solve a lot of my problem. Because in terms of placing it where I need it to be, it's much easier to reference a texture than I expected. And it solves my reference problem. Because earlier I was saying, like, do I have to load the whole thing like off screen first or something? But actually, I can load the texture ahead of time and put in a reference. Well, I thought I had the answer, but now I think I don't have the answer yet. I'm gonna have the answer. For the moment, it at least feels good that it's just working at all. Do I have that check? Let's see if I have that check. I do have that check. But this is checking the object to see if this is defined. I don't even think I need this check. Why is this here? This is actually dumb, is what this is. Yes, exactly. Yeah. But it's not checking if a sprite exists. It's checking if this key exists inside of segments. And I had to add this because there was this race condition where the game would crash randomly when trying to restart it. Sometimes it would work, sometimes it would not. But it's not checking a game object. It's not checking for an actual sprite, if that if that helps to know. The actual image isn't being created until deep down in the render right here. This is where we're creating the actual object, which is not where I want to create it. Is that so? It doesn't need to be. It doesn't need to be super fast because of where it's happening, but you don't have to do type of anymore. Is that all you're saying here? No, you're good. Are you sure? Because boy, I do that all the time. Is it gonna crash now? No, I mean it's working. Weird. Man, I'm operating on some ancient old out of date knowledge, huh? Because you could not do this in the past. Am I mistaken? I could swear you couldn't do that in the past. Yeah. I mean, it's not happening every frame is all I meant. It's happening like right when you load this scene. Okay. I'm going to chalk that one up to the internet misinforming me. I blame the internet. I don't know if it looks more or less impressive with these sprites. What do you think? I feel like it just looks like such a junkyard. I feel like it looks worse now than it did with just the trees. The trees, at least, it looks sort of intentional. This looks right. Yeah, it was cohesive before. Yeah, null is null is a disaster everywhere it appears, right? Null is bad. Oh, actually, you know what? I don't think this was actually doing anything. This wasn't. I'm back to this not being actually needed. What was actually the problem was there was a bug in the code that I borrowed. I'm pretty sure there was a bug in the code I borrowed. You sure? You sure it was necessary? Well, the bug I was thinking of was actually due to this shit. Because the way that the guy wrote it, where he was using length -1, so he's using the entire segments array. And this would exceed the length of the array because we were going in increments of 5. So it would often hit the end of the array, go off the end. Because it's trying to not do every single segment. It's trying to do them like every fifth. Yeah, sprites let you define pivot, origin, all that, yeah. The way I use null is only for exists or not. So I just do, if whatever the thing is, or if not whatever the thing is. And that works. And that's pretty much the only way I use null, because any other use seems like dangerous to me. That way seems manageable. I didn't like evaluate the way this was working food. I just brought it into phaser. This was particularly, this piece is like lightly modified and not made to be intelligent. It's however it was. But if I'm being honest, at a glance, I didn't recognize any issue with this. I'm not sure your interpretation is right. I'm pretty sure it doesn't zig. I added the inner if because of the exceeding the array thing I was talking about. It would sometimes crash. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe it doesn't need it. Maybe I changed something else. Oh, well, I have to change the other thing. This is how it was originally. Yeah, see? And I don't think this was needed either because this was trying to fix, that was my attempt at trying to fix that bug. Well, what's happening right now is this is getting to, and you can't see it, this is getting to 3600, the end of the array, and then it's going, give me a random index which can increase it outside the length of the array. Well, right. This may have been vestigial. I may have had this as an original attempt at a fix and then forgot to remove it when I realized I could just take 5 off of the end of the array. I'm a real cowboy programmer. I tend to leave a mess lying around. That's why it helps to have other eyeballs look at stuff. Because it's really easy to just do some weird shit and forget why the fuck you did it in the first place. Yeah, this seems fine now. There you go. I didn't need this. Always nice to get rid of some useless fucking code. It's always nice. There you go. It's beautiful now. It's not, but there you go. Oh, yeah, that's true, yeah. I mean, the code base that I borrowed stuff from, I've converted some things to better, or at least formats that I like better. But some stuff I just didn't bother because it's a real heap of shit. Like, feast your eyes. And to be fair to this guy, he states right in his article, this is not organized well, and I just went with kiss. I didn't remember when people used to say kiss. He said he went with kiss, and he didn't really try to organize this properly. or anything like that. And from what I can tell, I think he was writing pretty fancy code for 2012. But times have changed. Things have moved on. Notice all the vars. Everything's var. And all the semicolons all over everything. Whenever I see a semicolon now, it feels like there's a little insect on my screen. I have to kill them. I know, right? Like, this dude is very obsessed with like making like special blocks. And the thing about that is, when this happens, it's like you go to all this effort and then you get your edge case and you're like, "Ugh. Well, fuck it." Oh no, I shouldn't have said anything about semicolons. I didn't realize they're not necessary, so I don't fucking use them. I don't think that I think it looks cleaner without them. Because what's the what's the point? They're not doing anything. They literally have no function. Like uh 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 oh no. You know what else expresses the end of an expression? The end of the expression. They add clarity? Okay. I don't agree. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oops. Okay, well, I'm gonna just delete whole lines of stuff. There's some cases where it's necessary, yes. But in my opinion, in the general case, it's just visual clutter that I don't like. But fortunately, it's optional, so I can do that, and y'all can do that, and everything's fine. I'm not an insane person. If you're going to run around and grab every edge case where it obviously makes sense to use them, then you have fucked up. I didn't remove them here. I didn't think that this was going to anger all the JavaScript people, but here we are. Not really. I mean, it depends on your perspective, True Geek, because like I just don't write them. I'm never thinking about it. And I guess in my coding that I'm doing, I just rarely to almost never am using anything where I need to use them. Basically, just never. Oh, I interpreted it backwards. I sorry, True Geek. I don't know why, but I do this all the time, so you guys should be used to this by now. Okay. Okay, well maybe then True Geek wrote it backwards and I somehow am psychic and I'm even more confused now. Oh man. I read it the way you meant it, True Geek. And therefore I still disagree. I dedicate zero thought to excluding semicolons. I just simply do not write them. Right. Prettier basically solves this whole argument because if that's what you want, you can just prettier is the answer. If you had to work with me, which you don't, prettier. I am so astonished. I didn't think I would be so alone on this. If anything, I thought that that was the way now. I'm so surprised. Hmm. I don't know. I can't get past them seeming so pointless to me in the general case. I don't think you're ever going to convince me otherwise. And I reject your edge cases because it's obvious when you need to use that. I mean, like, I know when I need to use parentheses and I know when I need to use brackets. You know, like, it doesn't break my brain to have to use brackets to make an array occasionally without having to put brackets at the end of every statement or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just sort of weird that we have this requirement from my perspective. And I don't really buy the argument that it's like difficult to remember to use them in situations where it's advantageous. That doesn't seem hard to me. But I am shit. So you can just write it off as I am shit. You ran into bugs from this? I'm super interested to know. How? I might tell you that, Trugy. Because, like, why not? I mean, I write JavaScript all the time, and I can't think of a single time where this has been an issue. Maybe it's what this means is I write really dumbass code or something where like I'm not writing anything intelligent enough to where it extends multi-line enough to where it's a problem. Does that make sense? Maybe it's because I'm writing baby code all the time, but it's literally never come up as a bug ever. And I write quite a lot of web dev JavaScript. In user code, I don't even really know what that is referring to. It does not use WASD. It could. I just don't have it set up that way. Right now it uses arrow keys, but I also have auto drive on, which disables controls. I'm honestly fascinated by this. not fascinated about the controls that I'm not using, but this whole semicolon thing. All right. I'm surprised it didn't come up before because like I've shown my code here a bit. Plus I've got the repo out there. Speaking of, I should probably do a sort of checkpoint here. Good enough. And just a reminder, if you are interested in being mad about my semicolons in an up close and personal way, here do be the repo. Look, I am an amateur at best. Whatever I choose to do doesn't really matter because it's gonna overall it's gonna be stupid anyway. Plus R. What's happened? Absolute chaos. I don't understand anything I'm seeing. Was it? What did I paste? Oh, I dropped an R off. Now I understand. When you typed plus R, I'm like, what do you mean? What command is plus R? Oh no, no BFA, no. Oh man. Um to the underscore thing, I mean. But yeah. Yeah, I'm hoping to learn a lot here. And then this is gonna feed into other projects that I want to do. Like the one I talked about a while back, where I want to try to make like a much more in-depth stream game. But I'm gonna have to get much better at coding. And a lot of other things in a general way if I'm gonna do that. That's funny. Thank you, Zik. Appreciate it. No. No, I had no idea they were making a. I don't really follow that closely. Is it on YouTube? I'm scared to go to YouTube here. I don't know what will happen. Am I signed in? Is it on their main channel or do they have other channels? No Clip Crew? I don't even know what that is.
I got the ultra rare.
Oh. Is this it? That's like their trailer.
Danny here from NoClip. So
Came out from under the
Where were you
truck.
hiding?
I was underneath. Where
my
else do you think I was?
I don't know, dude.
Sharking.
See you, Alex.
you know, a little bit. How does that have a game? The game is like the sort of Trojan horse for letting us to do all this sort of stuff, to get us in the room and to talk to people about all these weird things. And so we decided to spend a little money. Well, not a little money. A lot of money? Not a lot of money. Not a lot of money. Let's put it that way. You could buy a car, a decent second, maybe third-hand car for the money we gave to a developer to make a game for us. But it wasn't just anyone, it was someone we trusted and know, and somebody who definitely did way more hours than we paid him for. Stunt car driving, everyone seems to pull a different random game out of the air. Like they existed on all consoles and all platforms. These games where you basically make tracks and then do stunts in cars on them. Alex's, like, I guess his like secret sauce is that he's really good at physics. All his games are like physics based. Not like realistic physics, but like enjoyable physics, fun physics. He's also really good at doing multiplayer games, sort of large-scale multiplayer games. Video, just layers of
Loop, and like any good stunt actor, just kind of went for it and hoped for the best. Fairly quickly, he started working on a track editor.
This looks
to
great.
not ju-
I wish I was good at anything. That's awesome. I don't really understand what the heck they're doing it for. Here you go. Whoop. You guys made me feel bad with the whole semicolon thing. So now I feel like I'm bad at everything. No, I know. I'm very self-conscious, particularly about code for some reason. I feel I have a very oppressive sense of the old classic, you don't know what you don't know. And the way my brain interprets that is I don't know anything. Regardless of what I know that I know, the don't know feels very, very big. So I'm always like embarrassed to show people any code or anything like that because I know that I'm not good at shit like math, and I'm not good at like I just don't like put in the effort to for instance dig into stuff that's really not that hard, but it just looks a little hard, so I just don't. Like I don't really use a lot of the more advanced stuff that's available in JavaScript, for instance. It's not hard to use. Like I rarely use filter, reduce, spread. I know what they do, but I don't use them often enough to where I'll end up being like, ah, fuck, I don't want to look it up. I'm just gonna do it the old way. But then it tallies up in my mind. Does this make any sense? Like it builds up, and I'm just like, I'm bad. I'm just bad. I'm just barely like getting myself to use like ternary operations more often, and still very infrequently. Well, weirdly, I like ternaries a lot. My mind always shoots back. Again, I've told this before, but like I had a friend that was trying to get me to get into Python, but then when he would like tell me about Python stuff, he would tell me about the most like far off in the distance Futurama bullshit. You know, like I'm like trying to do baby's first Python, and he's like, "Have you heard about lambdas?" And I'm like, Half-Life." He was just, it's fine. He just wasn't a teacher. That's all. It's not his fault. I mean, that was me trying to like fuck with Python in I don't know, like 2015 or some shit. Meanwhile, the dude that I'm talking about was in the Commodore 64. Well, he wasn't like in it, but he was programming on Commodore 64, and he was like at least like if not a direct participant, certainly a consumer of the demo scene. So like for him, he beat programming decades ago. Like he conquered the end boss, and for him, I don't even know what it is anymore. Like I guess he's crazy. He's done wild shit. He did some notable things. I'm trying to remember what was one of the things that he did. Something Commodore. He might have made like a. I think he did something with a Commodore compiler. Made it online or some shit like that. I don't know. It was something people found interesting. I don't remember. It's been too many years. I do understand. I do understand the way Booleans and truthiness and all that stuff works. So no, I'm not doing a lot of. I'm not doing a lot of things like that. Food Flare, no. I only use ternaries when there's actually an operation that needs to be done. Well, from my perspective, he beat the end boss. He's at a level where it's just fluid for him, you know, like he can just do anything he wants. If he can think it, he can do it. You know what I mean? There's not like this whole teeth pulling process like it is for me, where I'm like, try 50 things, 0 of them work. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's a tale as old as time. Tabs versus spaces. And I have my own weird path through programming as well, because I never considered myself a programmer. I've only recently kind of sort of got comfortable saying it. I did dumb shit like Prologue, which Prologue is madness. I mean, that's dipping into that's like ancient Greece of programming. Oh, Jesus Christ, Wikipedia, take it easy. Prolog is a logic programming language associated with artificial intelligence and computational linguistics. First appeared in 1972. 50 years ago. Get out of my face, Wikipedia. Ah, yes. Atoms, numbers, variables, and compound terms. This is really bringing me back. Have a look at this shit. That's how you end an expression in Prolog. Yeah, I was doing, this is the shit I was using to do, basically like semi-intelligent, analog device hacking for masking onto a chip. And you had to, this is about the extent of what you have to work with. It doesn't get much more complicated than this right here. It's definitely some OG shit for sure. This is some long beard type programming stuff. Anybody that you're going to talk to or meet that has anything to do with Prolog is going to just have like a really big, long white beard and probably really tall glasses. That's Prolog shit. Actually, unfortunately, I think a lot of those dudes are dying off now. That was like, that was a very 90s, early 2000s statement I just made. What? Yarn has Prolog? How? What? Where? Why? When? What on earth? Get out of here. What? Shut the fuck up. Weird. Really weird. See, people that come up with this shit are just beyond my realm of understanding. I don't know how you get on this level. Like how you arrived at this and this is what you chose to do. It's some galaxy brain shit that I don't know how you got there. I often think about that with Phaser. You know, while I'm like struggling to cobble this shit together, right? I make Picture Go. Meanwhile, there's a dude out there, I think by himself, who made all of Phaser. You know, like I don't know how you get to the level where you're making libraries and shit. It seems too insane. I guess you just have to really master a language. I still agonize over like I like the way classes look when I use them, but I don't know if I'm using them right, and I'm not. You know what I'm afraid of doing? I'm afraid of extending classes. And then so I don't. Unless I'm told to, I don't. Because I feel like there's just like, well, how can I extend something that I have no idea what the fuck is inside it? I mean, technically, if I'm extending Phaser stuff, there's all the documentation or whatever, but like, I don't know why my brain works the way it does around this shit. Sometimes it's like good and powerful, and sometimes it's completely like I'm getting in my own way. Yeah, classes is another crazy division with people. And I'm so super self-conscious about it because everybody that I respect from a like programming perspective says the same thing. Like, I fucking hate classes. And I'm like, okay, so is the reason that I like them because I'm a weird baby idiot? Am I a dum-dum? Because what turns me on to classes is when I read about them, they sound cool. It makes sense to me somehow in my mind of like, you think about it like it's a thing that has properties, and that just makes sense to me. Yeah. JavaScript is kind of wildly flexible, which I think is the thing I see people complain about the most. I mean, there's a lot of things to complain about, and I get it. But at the same time, it's wild how you can just if you understand the weird gotchas that JavaScript has, like the type stuff and I don't know, the dumb things like the triple equals, the common stuff everybody knows, you can just sort of do wild shit. And so every JavaScript thing you look at is all over the place because everybody kind of invents their own, like, well, this works for me. You know what I mean? Which also probably is why people fucking hate it so much, because it's like, I mean, I run into it so often where I run into somebody else's paradigm and I'm like, this doesn't look like anything I've ever seen in my life. And I write I write JavaScript like all the time. And in various different ways. I've adopted a number of different patterns. And this is yet another like new, it looks like a totally different language somehow. You know? Like, just if you just consider the concept of classes alone, right? One of the problems with it in JavaScript, there are actual classes now, but there's also like a shitload of different ways to sort of like make your own pretend classes. So there's lots of shit like that out there. And some of those are really fucking hard to read and understand. Like how they, what did you do? Because they were using some like crazy edge of the language stuff at that particular, ES5 or whatever when. Yeah. Yeah. Prototype shit is like, yeah. Right. Well, that is the thing. Like, I can tell that if I understood the like underpinnings better, a lot of this stuff would be less intimidating to me upon first glance. Oh, well, I'm talking more about work now. Since my day job is like web dev stuff, dude, the shit I run into is madness. I don't know what I'm going to get. It's the crucible for fucking JavaScript. I don't know how to describe it well, and this doesn't describe it well either, but what the image that popped into my mind was that scene in Labyrinth where she falls down the like the bottomless pit that has arms all over the sides reaching out to grab her. For some reason my brain is like, here you go, this is what it's like. I'm like, what? Some other part of my brain is like, what? Well, at any rate, in my defense, I do like the sort of sense of like a class feels like a tangible thing to my way of thinking, I guess. That's probably why it appeals to me. But I have to say, I do find that no matter what pattern I try to adhere to, I always run into some fucking shit that doesn't like quite fit. That's what always fucks me up with every. Honestly, it's not even really just a JavaScript thing. It's like every programming language. There's always some sort of thing that like kind of breaks the pattern a little when you try to really organize really well. It's just like real life. You always find a couple of things that don't really go anywhere. Sorry, this is getting like way abstract now. This is me when I'm really not getting any shit done at all. I find some tangent to go off on. Didn't I say I wanted to fix this sprite shit? I need to get this stuff out of here. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to chuck it all down at the bottom because none of it matters. I did, but I didn't fix the core problem, which is this. This has got to change. What I need to do is in my segment object, basically this needs to become, like, this needs to go away. This needs to become a reference to an actual game object. This is the actual game object. So I shouldn't be creating it here. It should already be created and being sent in. It should come in basically here. This should really be a reference to a game object, so that I can, this is probably going to be too much to, like, even for a little bit of overtime. I don't think I'm going to be able to figure this out in time. See, I create the object and then I stuff it into an array. And it's a dumb array. It's just an array of every single sprite you see on screen. And then this is not the problem stuff. Where's the problem thing? It's clear sprites. Clear sprites. Right here. I just go through that whole array and destroy them all. Every single fucking frame. Well, yeah, I could do that, but so there's other problems. It's not as easy as just throwing it in there. Because when you create it, you have to give the location of it, right? So does that mean that I'm going to be creating them? This, I mentioned this a couple times already, but like, do I have to create them off camera? I could tell the camera to ignore them, but boy, that seems complicated. Create them all off screen and then, well, they will be moved because that part of it is still going to happen. That's my intention, is that it gets moved where it's supposed to go. I guess that only happens once at the very beginning, so it's really fine. It's not going to be happening every frame. So I'm agonizing over nothing. That sounds like me. That's my MO. All right. So yeah, then it's probably fine. It's probably fine. Also, I could probably make it a sprite. I don't know that there's a huge difference. Actually, there is. I remember reading about this. Surprisingly, weirdly, you take a hit when you make it an actual sprite. Weird as that is. Phaser. I would have assumed that sprites would be more performant. A sprite game object. It's used for display of both static and animated images in your game. Blah, blah, blah. The main difference between a sprite and an image game object is that you cannot animate images. As such, sprites take a fraction longer to process, have a larger API footprint due to the animation component. If you do not require animation, then you can safely use images to replace sprites in all cases. I mean, I could, well, yes. Sorry, you're like hitting me with hard questions here. So what we're doing is We create the road before the thing even starts driving. Before you even see anything, we're creating all this stuff. And my intention is to just move them where they need to be, right? If I don't delete them, I don't know what happens at that point. Yeah, absolutely. I can just move them. I mean, these are already textures, which are supposed to be the most performant imagery you can do here. The texture consists of a source, usually an image from a cache, and a collection of frames. The frames represent Every texture, no matter where it comes from, has at least one frame called the base frame. That's the entirety thing. That's good to know. It actually doesn't say anything about performance. I don't know. To be honest, I was assuming that there's a performance issue, but there may not really be. Phaser 3 is the engine that I'm using. And we're making a sort of retro racer thing. Work in progress. I don't really recall. I think it keeps these things in memory unless you destroy them. Is I believe how it works. But I mean, let's look at image real quick. You can look at methods. That'll be informative. Destroy. It removes it from the display list and update list. So it's gone for good if you do this. Okay. As long as no reference to it exists within your own code, it should become free for garbage collection by the browser. If you want to just temporarily disable an object, then look at using the game object pool instead of destroying it, as destroyed objects cannot be resurrected. Okay, well, this is honestly news to me. Very cool. Why can't this be a link? Why are you like this, Phaser? Why are you like this, Phaser? Well, the fact that it immediately brought up Unity shows that this is just a common paradigm. Mm-hmm. Yes. Oh. Oh, this is perhaps exactly what I'm looking for. Fantastic. Is that why this wasn't linked? It's just sort of a concept as opposed to a function of the engine? Okay, so it uses the object's key, default key, huh? Cool, yeah. I think this is exactly what I'm looking for. Oh, this track. Such a good track. Okay. Well, this is probably then a tomorrow project because it's definitely going to take more time. I'm going to have to reorg a bunch of stuff. Yeah. Let me look at groups real quick. Let's see how that key thing actually works. Config. Yeah. Default key. Interesting. Oh, goodness. Yep. This is definitely, this seems like it's the answer. So I could have the ability to basically put all this shit in a toy box and then pull from it using, I could do that at the creation point and have it at the beginning the way that I want to. So it can be part of the, I can pass the reference in. Perfect. And then I can do other things to them that I can't do now because I'm killing them every frame. So that's good. Like I could do sprite animations, I could do alpha, because they pop in on out in the distance right now. I wanted to kind of have them fade in, similar to the way that Slipstream does it. Yeah, I could do a lot of stuff that I cannot do now because of the way it's written in prototype fashion. Yeah, I could tint the sprites so that they have the fog on them as well. Absolutely could do that. Yeah. This is one of those nights where it felt middling productive. It certainly feels more productive than yesterday. But then I did spend an hour feeling bad about not using semicolons. Yeah, I really wanted to get the sprite thing entirely solved, and as per usual, it turned out to be a little bit more than I expected. But not bad. I feel good about having an answer for tomorrow.
Winch, thank you for 24 months, 2 years. Right, yeah, there was that with the packing the textures where I almost lost my mind. Boy. I mean, I'm still very fucking hyped and excited to continue working on this. Like, I know that this is probably overly ambitious, but I honestly think we can get within striking distance of the quality level of Slipstream. If I keep hacking away at this. Which almost feels like I'm trying to insult Slipstream. when this is what I'm showing. Kind of feels bad to say it. But I honestly, that is my objective. Like, I find that game to be really beautiful, and I really like the style, and I would love to be able to get in that ballpark. Are you insulting my code, BFA? I only added ew lines of code. Ah, yes, the old 80-20. I feel like that's mostly tech bro. That's like tech bro wisdom. Or really corporate world. I don't really buy it. Because things do get done. Yeah. You're probably right. Everyone's probably right. I want to look into that mesh thing because I'm really curious if that'll be a solution for getting textures involved in this, like on the road and stuff. That's still something where I just really don't have an answer. I feel like whatever Slipstream is built on had that capability, maybe in the engine, you know, more like obviously. It might be possible here, but I just don't quite see it. I don't see a way of doing it. But I need to dig into meshes and see. Or if somebody knows for a fact that meshes will do what I need them to do, like can I kind of overlay them on the road as polygons maybe? I don't know. It would be nice if I could. Because being able to give the road different textures and stuff as well would be a really nice additional thing for the look here. I don't know, like I said, I had tried messing with meshes a little bit when I was doing my blobber thing, because I was thinking that they looked like they would work really well for the perspective walls, right? So instead of having to make a bunch of perspective pixel art, like where the perspective is baked in, I could just make the flat versions of the textures and then like rotate the meshes. But I couldn't do anything about the basically the FOV. I mean, Phaser has shader support, but I don't even know word one when it comes to writing shaders. Another thing to learn, I guess. And it doesn't have to be meshes necessarily. It's just... Well, so the way meshes work in Phaser, from what I understand, is that they work with the image that you give them. You don't define the points. The points are derived. So basically, it takes an image, it takes its dimensions that already exist and splits that into triangles. And that feels to me like something where you should be able to then skew it and stuff, but it doesn't seem to work that way. I don't think it has that feature. Was the conclusion I arrived at. But I don't think images or sprites have that feature either. So that kind of leaves me a bit lost as to what I could even do. But clearly with, drawn shapes, we can do whatever we want. But drawn shapes are a very heavy thing. So like I can't use those to create texture because I'd have to draw so many shapes to do that. And it would probably run the performance straight into the ground. So I don't think that's an option. This is probably doable, but I'm just having trouble wrapping my head around how. I just don't know. I don't know where to start with it, I guess. Because it's a little bit of a it's a bit of a odd use case that isn't really covered by any examples or anything really. I have to completely go digging to even find where to start looking. Anywho, we are slightly over time. I should probably wrap up, but this has been cool and fun. I hope you all enjoyed. I am still super into this, and I'm excited to take this as far as I can. I'm really excited to get to the milestone of just sort of having the core stuff done. I'm going to try to make sure that a lot of the polished stuff stays off in the future. But I want to get the basic code cleaned up and organized and essentially just the most basic features. Then I want to switch to content creation. So I'm going to be trying to enhance some pixel art ability. There's going to be some art streams, I think with 6 at some point here, where 6 and I are just going to do art stuff together because I have an excuse now. And that excuse is that before I dive into doing I don't want to just start making sprites. That's not going to be a good way to make a cohesive end product, right? Oh, I'm not making 6 do anything for me. We're just going to do art together for fun. But what I'm going to be doing, my objective is I want to make prototype paintings, concept art. Yeah. I want to make concept art for the different biomes that I want to implement in the game. I want to paint them out to get a feel for what the look is before I embark on making any sprites or anything like that. That way, the end results for each biome will be cohesive and it'll give me a chance to come up with ideas, because right now it would just be it would just be a bad way to work, right? If I was well, I want a city scene, and then I just started making random buildings, it's not going to be coherent in the end, right? I should paint it all together. I should paint a sky. What's the far background going to look like, and the mid back, the various layers of the background? What are the foreground elements going to look like? How are they going to come together? What's the overall palette, the color scheme? So I want to do a bunch of those. I want to figure out what are the ones that I think are going to be the best for this, and really get those kind of hammered out, as well as other elements. I want to come up with some car ideas and figure out some stylized version of cars, because I want to use that then to I'm going to start learning Blender. And in Blender, we're going to make low poly car models that I'm then going to use to generate the car sprites for the game. because that's going to be just a way more like controlled, reusable way of making the car sprites, and I'll be able to do more angles and stuff versus the way I did this, which takes so goddamn long and is so tedious and painstaking to get a result that just looks like this, which doesn't in my opinion look that great. So there's a huge number of advantages to doing it with a 3D model approach, and I think that'll be really good. So that's going to be sort of the middle section of development of this, is going to be essentially asset generation. And I'm planning on streaming a lot of that. I want to stream, you know, making the car models and painting the concept art. Yeah, it would also be much easier to create multiple cars. Like that was when I was working on this car, in my head, I was canceling things off the to-do list. I'm like, well, no more AI cars. You know, no other player cars. This is the only one. No other car colors. I'm not doing it. You know, I was just striking shit off the list because just in my head, I was like, if every single one of these cars is going to be this painful to make and take this long, I'm not fucking doing it. But yeah, 3D models will be a much more reproducible way. Like it's still going to take time, obviously, but it's going to be much more efficient time. Yeah, I'll be able to do well. So now hold on there, Sage. I'm not going to put 3D models in the game. I'm going to, yeah, I could do palette stuff like Food is saying, where I would be able to. I mean, honestly, we could make a huge sprite sheet for each car that has like different colors where they're just plain. We could also have, a decals one for each car, like maybe a separate one. Oh yeah. Okay, I'm arriving at what you meant right now. We could have a separate one that's just the decals, and we could like render that on as like a layer on top, and it'll all be very controllable. It'll all make easy mathematical sense at the end. It'll work well algorithmically if we use that approach, because I'm pretty sure I've looked up some stuff. I haven't done a deep dive into it, but the advantages are going to be obviously that you have 3D models, but that you can also do things like I can have set camera positions, and I can basically set up and effectively automate the rendering process, right? That's the most key thing, is like we pick what are the sprite angles, like how many different angles of turn and tilt do we want to have for each car, set up all the cameras, and then that's the template. And then, you know, the render settings will be uniform as well. So once you have that stuff set up, then it's just make the fucking cars. Then it's just art, right? You just sculpt out your cars, materials, and then render away, and it just outputs what you need. So and you can do all of the like splitting up of layers of stuff too. You can hide the wheels, so you just have the car body to have separate wheels. I don't know if it's very noticeable in here, but the wheels actually have a separate bounce from the car body, because my thinking was, well, the tires would look like they're bouncing more because they would be absorbing shock, and the car body would still bounce, but it wouldn't bounce as much because of the shock absorbers. You can render the shadows separately. It would still be accurate shadows, but you could actually have the whole shadow and it would be accurate to the angle, unlike mine, which are just guesses that I did by eye. So like that excites me very much, just the thought of doing that. And I really want to have, like, I went with essentially, I just looked up an R32 and it was a sort of realistic model, but I don't think I want to have real cars in this. I want to stylize the cars. You know, I want to take inspiration from cars that I like the R32, but I want to stylize it, kind of make it a little bit more fun looking and more gamey looking, you know, like video gamey, not like Dead Deer gamey. And I think that shit will be awesome. I'm really looking forward to that. You know, not quite so far as like Buck Up and Drive. Those are like super cartoony cars. So somewhere between here and there. More along the lines of Slipstream again. I really like their approach. That would be super sick food. I have to say, like, just looking into the process of how to make a Twitch extension basically defeated me. Not in the like programming part of it, but I couldn't get through the just the basic setup part of it. It was so fucked. If anybody can figure that out and explain it to me in baby terms, let me know. It wasn't even just that it's obtuse, which is a common Twitch dev problem. It's that it's completely fucked. If it's working at all, I don't know how. People are still making extensions, but like the fucking, like the special test environment thing that they built doesn't work. It's not functional. And then their documentation, all of it directs you to use that, which to me says none of this shit works. You know what I mean? They don't really provide information. And then when I try to look up anything, all I can find is like how to make your own Twitch bot. And then it's actually just using somebody else's, you know, like Stream Elements bot or something. Like it's not even, oh God, dude. I'm having flashbacks, man. But I want to make extension stuff because that's going to be the way to do more advanced game controls without having to have insane amounts of chat spam. You know, I really, really love the idea of building an extension that is essentially a player client to a server game. So, you know, back to my old idea, which I feel like is like years away, obviously, but like the stream will be the sort of main, it's actually not main. It'll be like a generalized viewport into the game world that's running on a server. And then the extension will be individual player clients. So those will really be the main viewports for the players. That's the way I'm thinking of it. Anyway, that's a whole other, that's far future shit. I'm so far from being able to do anything like that. To be honest, no. I know that you're joking, but it would be very much like just a regular multiplayer game, except for that it has this quirk of being like completely contained with and associated with a stream. It's basically taking a real game and making it really bad. Just very not good. It could just be a multiplayer game and not have any of the Twitch shit involved. But I just like the idea of it from like just a unique game experience where it's like, I mean, why do you make games for any particular platform, right? The intention would be to like take advantage of that weird form factor somehow that feeds into it, you know, something. I feel like having the always live stream viewport into the world would be very interesting for a large scale collaborative game. That's what it is about it. That's what sets it apart for me. I don't know if it's that interesting, but that's the core idea. Is I really like this idea of like sort of a collaborative Rimworldy-ish, Dwarf Fortressy-ish something or other. Like I'm not even thinking of like a competitive game. I'm thinking of like that all the players work for common goals and stuff. But this viewport thing would have this AI of like going to events and showing like bigger deal stuff. You know what I mean? It would have like grand scale, like what are the stats of the colony? You know, just something, you know, stuff like that where it's sort of like it's always got this sort of artificial news feed happening. It seems like an interesting concept that would be fun from like a co-op collaborative sort of way. It's sort of like a massively multiplayer game, essentially. It might be just dumb. I don't know. Anywho, I'm gonna get out of here. Thanks for helping me out tonight and for the good conversation and stuff. I hope I didn't offend any of you too deeply with my lack of semicolons. I'll try to be better. We'll see. And I think I'm going to continue tomorrow because now I really want to see the sprite stuff the rest of the way through. I really want to fix that system as my next goal. So it's just like always at least one objective met. You know what I mean? Steady, if slow, progress. So have a great night, everybody. I will see y'all tomorrow. We'll do more of this.